You're listening to Once, episode 209, Siege Perilous, Initial Reactions. Welcome back to another episode of Once, the unofficial podcast for ABC's. Let me say that again. Welcome back to another episode of Once, the unofficial podcast for ABC's TV show Once Upon a Time. I'm Daniel J. Lewis.
I'm Jeremy Laughlin.
We just watched this episode, Siege Perilous, which that alone, that phrase, which we did here in the episode, is something I want to research more, whether that's actually a thing with the round table. Because he said that was the name of that special seat. But the whole concept of the round table is that everyone is equal, right?
Except that one.
Yeah.
That one is chosen as the purest, but chosen by someone who's apparently not so pure of heart and without a whole lot of knowledge. I have to expected the chair to throw David off when he sat down.
No, that's the sword.
Oh, right.
Just don't sit on the sword. These are our initial reactions, so we will be a bit all over the place, but we'll have the opportunity for you to include your feedback, and we'll do a lot more research on other things in our upcoming full discussion, which is usually on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time over at oncepodcast.com/live. We're using new technology, so make sure that you always visit oncepodcast.com/live to make sure that you get to the correct page. Don't assume it's the Noodle Mix Network page. Did you notice the title screen seemed a little bit different in this episode?
I did not.
It looked like a different forest. And I think it was the first time in this season that the title screen has been different.
We're going to have to watch that again.
Yeah, and we will before our full discussion. But it made me think, is that supposed to be Camelot instead of the Enchanted Forest? I don't know.
Could be. Maybe they just decided it was time to spruce up the spruces.
But the sheriff's office seems a little bit spruced down, a little bit emptier.
Emptier without Emma. That town does not have good luck with sheriffs.
And Emma doesn't have good luck with men. There's something connected there.
Just talking about The Office makes me laugh because of David's little forced temper tantrum. Walks into Emma's office and slams the door in Snow's face, kind of, and then finds something off camera to kick. It was good. Good for branching out into temper tantrums, for which he is not known.
I thought, with that aside, which seemed very unusual for David, I thought that the writing in this episode was really good. The dialogue was really good, really deep ideas and philosophies, and the mythology of this episode I thought was really nicely developed, even though some things, seemed a little bit out of character, a little bit forced. But I thought, although this episode isn't packed with action, it was a good episode.
It was.
In what we learned and the twists and turns.
In the last 10 minutes, I was disappointed with the revelation of Arthur's lack of character. Even though it was widely predicted, I just find it perhaps predictable because others predicted it, and yet I was predicting the opposite.
Well, he was called a villain, and I think it's neat to see that, but do you think that he is actually a villain, or is he a person that has his priorities in the wrong order?
I think it's two sides to every story. Slightly, it's some kind of mix between interesting and yada yada. It's sort of the idea that with two sides to every story, to Lancelot, he's a villain. To others, his actions may be questionable, but they like to sort of make things gray rather than black and white. which really is a little more true to life in certain ways, and yet it keeps watering down our heroes a little bit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one to just root for as they are, or look up to, I suppose. Right. David's getting more on that track again.
Yeah.
Now that David and Snow have worked through some of their mistakes in the past.
And it's really cool to see David as a member of the Round Table now. In the Perilous seat. It should be cool. Seat Perilous, not Perilous. Siege Perilous.
It was cool for about a minute, and then suddenly the person appointing the honor was painted to be far less than honorable, and Snow certainly worried.
Right.
Actually, he was a little too trusting. The only time remind me, if you remember, did they meet the real Lancelot?
Yes.
They did.
Because...
just Snow and Charming did.
Right. Remember, it was in that whole instance when Charming's mother was killed, and they went to Lake Nostos. It was the episode Lady of the Lake.
Right.
But Snow saw Lancelot again in present-day Enchanted Forest, but that was when it was actually Cora.
Right.
But she said she killed Lancelot a long time ago. So
she did say that.
Did she not actually? I know we theorized that back then.
Right.
Maybe she just threw that out to say, forget about him.
Right.
And it's not beyond the realm of possibility that maybe she just locked him up somewhere, or she cast him somewhere else, or I don't know.
How do you feel about this goal of making Storybrooke the new Camelot?
Well, it's not the first time Storybrooke has been considered as the new something. Remember, Pan wanted to make it into the new Neverland.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels a little retread.
Yeah.
Personally speaking. So I'm a little disappointed by that as well. I was really on board the whole rest of the episode. I was enjoying it. I didn't really have many complaints. Even when David was fighting the armor on the lake, for just a second I thought, okay, come on, the fog's not that thick, they could see the other side, why isn't Arthur helping him? And then Arthur helped him, so I thought, okay, that's pretty consistent with what should happen. But just that last 10 minutes, and not even the whole last 10 minutes, it twisted again toward the end, and that wasn't as disappointing, I suppose.
Yeah. And Arthur as a villain or misguided priorities, I don't know, but I feel like he outright lied to his subject there, that he was praising and saying, drink this and you'll be Camelot's greatest hero. That is not what the Agrabah venom does to a person.
Here's the thing, and this is what I was thinking. I forgot that was another little quibble I had, because it appears as though Arthur actually took the venom of the Agrabah viper and mixed it in a bottle with some squid ink to change what it does, because plot. Yeah, his body disappears. So now they can just go, oh no, where'd he go? I guess he must have escaped, or somebody magicked him out. The Dark One must have taken it. They can say all whatever, instead of being like, he's been poisoned. Cool, he had no poison. I wonder who did this. Let's look at the security cameras. Which, by the way, even if he's gone, they look at the security cameras, and Arthur doesn't have magic, and he doesn't know about security systems. So, gotcha? Should be. We've already seen them look at the security cameras. They're not just present. So really, he should get caught. Maybe he will. That would actually be really cool. If they're like, okay, look, we saw you do this. And he says, what kind of magic is this? Like, it's not magic.
If they do catch him, I think that, or rather, if they do discover that he was the one who did it, then I think that they will probably keep it to themselves and maybe go along. Although I really liked the brotherness between Arthur and David. That was really cool, because they were both peasants and now they're royalty. And They
So that was
seem
kind
like
of a peasant's quest.
yeah.
Actually, that was a great moment. He tries to philosophize and make it okay. The quest is about the searching, not the finding. Do you really believe that? No.
But you know what I do believe in? That is our great supporters, our heroes who are not actually villains behind the scenes.
That we know of.
Yeah. Special thanks this episode for those who support us and are like a true hero who lift us out of the water when armor seems to be pulling us down, wanting to drown us. Thanks to David Newland, Steve Johnson, Lisa Slack, DJ Firewolf, and Ariana Miller, our new Patreon hero, for being heroes for this episode. And we've got 26 heroes on Patreon backing the podcast, supporting it on a monthly basis. Thank you very much. We really could not do this show without you. It does cost a lot to run the podcast and keep it running, and even through the hiatus and other things that we want to do. Like recently, I purchased the iTunes season pass to be able to download all of the episodes in high definition so we could get those screenshots, rewatch the episodes in high quality and all of that stuff. And your support makes that possible. So thank you, David, Steve, Lisa, DJ, and our new Patreon backers and all of our Patreon backers for your kind contributions. If you would like to be a hero to the podcast as well, please go to oncepodcast.com/hero. You can donate on a monthly basis through Patreon. It's a great, secure system over there. Or, let me say this differently. You can donate through Patreon. It's a great, really easy to use system over there that allows you to use your credit card or PayPal. Or you can go to oncepodcast.com/hero and discover how you can use our Amazon.com affiliate link to do your normal shopping on Amazon after you click on our link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it still supports the podcast. So check that out at oncepodcast.com/hero. I was surprised that of all of the people that Emma might need as a hero, I was thinking she was going to go get Arthur, and Arthur was going to pull the sword out for her. But then again, why would he? Because he could have done that in Camelot. He had the sword in Camelot. But she's using Rumpel as a blank slate to turn him into a hero, the purest hero.
Yeah, he was not a young man when he became the Dark One. I feel like he's not a blank slate, unless that's because he sort of died-ish / didn't quite die / isn't his heart still black, or was all the blackness? I know the Dark One junk was taken out of him, but does that really change his heart? Because I don't think it lived in his heart. That seemed to be the stuff that he did because he was the Dark One. Did it all just come out together?
I think so, because remember, it was a pure white heart.
She should have taken his heart out for illustrative purposes while she was talking to him so that we could all see the blank slate. Would it be clear? Is it not red or black? Or is it just like a pale red and it's going to get brighter? He's really going to become that dorky hero that was in the storybook.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. But how is Emma going to turn him into the hero and get him to pull the sword out for her? That doesn't really seem like too much of a price that Emma has to pay.
Yeah, so, and why him? Does she think that she can control him? And if she can, how is he the most pure of heart hero? Like, I'm not quite sure I follow her logic. And there are two voices in her head providing this logic. One of them's hers and one of them's the Dark One. And I knew when they said we both know who that is, I knew it wasn't going to be Arthur. I thought maybe Henry.
Yeah. Heart of the truest believer, the author, everything that Henry is, the Savior's son. Henry has been kissed to break 2 curses thus far. The curse-breaking kiss count.
Maybe Henry's hero name is the Blarney Stone. I don't think that's really how that works, but
when Emma was looking at the Dark One in her mind, and Rumpel looked over there too, but he was kind of looking toward the sword too. It made me wonder, does he know what's going on in Emma's head? Is he thinking, are you seeing me now over there?
Yeah, maybe they'll have a conversation. We'll get to hear who he saw, if he saw anyone. Somehow I don't think he needed to see anyone. I think he just went home and started killing people. He didn't really need a coach.
Yeah. He started out, though, different. He wanted to be the Dark One. He wanted the magic. So maybe he didn't need as much guidance. It was more a discovery sort of thing for him.
Right.
But Emma, do you think this whole date with Hook was just to get the sword?
It was to learn. I don't know if she got the sword. I think she also needed to learn. Well, did she need to learn something, or did she already know the sword was the thing that touched him?
Hook said something about the sword.
He said it. I just didn't know if that was the first time she learned that, and if she was there trying to find out what that object might be. But really, it's not like Hook was around him a lot before.
Right.
So, but she might have been trying to get both the information and an object.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that was probably it. As well as maybe trying to get Hook on her side. But, oh, man. Ouch. How painful those moments between Hook and Emma.
As she crushed his heart more under her unsensible heel.
So there's some... This feels really like a setup episode. Setting up, giving us a little bit of a breather, not so much action, but giving us some depth to what's coming next. By the way, since you like Once Upon a Time, there's a great opportunity you have to sport some Once Upon a Time clothing and support the podcast too, and get an awesome sale. Go to oncepodcast.com/t-shirts. That's just the letter T, shirts. oncepodcast.com/t-shirts. We've partnered with TeePublic and selected some wonderful Once Upon a Time themed t-shirts for you. There are, I think, over 30 different shirts there that you could choose from. Some really great designs, some beautiful illustrations, some really funny ones. But if you go there before Wednesday, let me double check this date. Sorry. But depending on when you're listening to this, you may be seeing the shirts at normal price. However, go to oncepodcast.com/t-shirts on Wednesday or Thursday, October 14th or 15th, because during those 48 hours, the shirts will be on sale. So this will be a great chance to stock up, get some really fun t-shirts to show the world that you enjoy Once Upon a Time. These aren't our own designs, but we've curated these designs together for you. And if you visit that site, oncepodcast.com/t-shirts, that helps support. Sorry. That helps. And if you visit that website, oncepodcast.com/t-shirts, and buy a shirt through there, that helps support the podcast too. And you get something really cool to go along with it. So if you buy a shirt, here's what we want you to do. Tweet us at Once Podcast with a photo of you wearing your new Once Upon a Time shirt, whichever shirt it is that you decide to pick. Or there might be some other shirts there that you can search through the website and maybe find something else we didn't find. So let us know if you find something really good that should be in our store too. But go to oncepodcast.com/t-shirts, support the podcast, get a great looking shirt, and send us your photo. If you're not on Twitter, then you can also email us, and our contact information is on the website at oncepodcast.com. Anything else, Jeremy?
I don't think so. Nothing comes to mind.
Okay. Let me look over the notes just to make sure. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, unless we want news. There was a tweet this week about a 2-hour episode coming up.
Oh, we'll share that in the full discussion.
Okay.
Because I need the correct details on that and some stuff surrounding that. It's kind of confusing.
Right.
So send us your feedback we'd love to have your feedback for our upcoming full discussion, which will be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. at oncepodcast.com/live. And that's in Eastern time. go to the website, oncepodcast.com. That's where you can get our feedback information. Email us feedback@oncepodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter @oncepodcast. But we want to get your theories involved in what's going on. What's up with Arthur? Where did Lancelot come from? And all of this other cool stuff. Great questions and research and stuff that you might know that you'd love to share with us. We get some of the best feedback, unfortunately, after we record our full discussion. So please get that feedback in as early as possible. And as usual, put the title of the episode in the subject line of any emails that you send to us, and that would really help us in sorting it. All of that is at oncepodcast.com. And please share this episode with your friends and family and get someone else listening to the podcast. It's really the best thing that you can do to help us. The show notes for this episode will be at oncepodcast.com/209. Please connect with us on Twitter @oncepodcast. And I'm Daniel J. Lewis on Twitter @the Ramen Noodle.
I'm Jeremy Laughlin on Twitter @Fleegon. That's PHLEGON.
And until next time, remember, speed is feet, direction is hand. And thanks for listening. Once Podcast is a proud member of Noodle Mix Network. Find more of our award-winning and award-nominated podcasts to make you think, laugh, and succeed at noodle.mx. Big thanks to our heroes for this episode of the podcast. If you'd like to be one of them and keep the podcast going, then please go to oncepodcast.com/hero. And thank you for your support. If we can get Joey in, then we could hear what Joey has to say.
It looks like I have a glass eye when I do this. At least to me.
I don't know about a glass eye. Hey, Joey.
So can I pull up my camera?
It's using some other software. That's okay though. But what did you think of the episode tonight?
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Once Upon a Time. I wish I could have the camera. Oh, there's the camera.
Hey.
Hi.
It worked. Hi.
I got my Once Upon a Time shirt on.
Awesome.
But yeah, I love the show so much. I love the whole King Arthur thing. I think it's much better than, the Frozen thing going on in the last season.
Aren't you glad they let that go?
Yeah.
That was cold.
They did the copycat thing, and I don't like it when they're doing like exactly the story. I like it in the first season where they would twist the stories a lot more.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. I suppose it makes sense for Arthur to be. The thing is, he's not going to be a villain. He's going to be like some kind of a weird, misunderstood hero villain.
Well, yeah, they've gone like every way they can with quote villain unquote, like misguided, or I only want love, or I only want to be loved. Right. I only want my sisters, and I only want everyone else to die and burn, and I only want my son back, and all of this stuff. And here it's, I want my kingdom. That's all I want, and no one's going to stand in the way of my kingdom. I still think that's kind of villainous.
Villainy.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that he's trying to there's like some darkness inside of him that's like pushing him towards this. I think he's just legitimately trying to do what's right for his kingdom. I mean, they brought in somebody who's pretending to be the savior, which clearly isn't the savior. And I think there's a lot of lying going on, and he's just trying to protect his kingdom.
Right.
Yeah, everything he's doing seems to be something that he's doing for his kingdom. But in some ways, that seems like there might be something more to it, because in this episode, we learned that he wasn't even necessarily the rightful heir to the throne, but he was the chosen heir to the throne based on Merlin's prophecy.
Yeah, like this pulling out the sword and the stone in the classic movie, that's how he became king.
Right. Yeah, that's true. In the movie, well, I don't know is Arthur, the Arthurian legend, is that he was noble at all?
I think it was noble of heart.
Okay.
I know a lot about Disney movies. I actually live right behind Disney. Magic Kingdom's right behind me. So
nice.
My dad used to work there a little while ago, so I've been to Disney so many times.
California or Florida?
Florida.
Okay.
Florida.
Yeah.
Do you want to see my? I do graphic design. Do you want to see my Once Upon a Time kit that I made?
Yeah. What is that?
It's like Mr. if you were Mr. Gold was to brand things. I made this a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
And if you were to brand things in a kit, it would have all of this stuff, and it's got, of course, your favorite Dream Shade in there.
I thought you were going to say Squid Ink.
Yeah, that's Jeremy's.
Oh, it's got Squid Ink in there too.
Oh man!
Because of all the ridiculous things you can do with it, and I even made magic beans out of the hot glue. I made a little mold, so I've got.
Oh, that's awesome!
No, that's great.
And it's got instructions on there. The Squid Ink one, it says. I have it says uses magical paralysis, memory trigger, and disintegration.
Are
you plot changes? It says, warning, all magic comes with a price. Do not use if you aren't prepared to pay it.
Okay, here's what I'm sure everyone is wanting to know. Is that for sale? Are you selling those?
No. Well, I would have to print out more. Okay. It depends how much people would want to buy it. I could make more.
That could be cool. Hey, so. I couldn't quite tell from what you were saying, but are you new to our podcast?
No, I started listening, I think at the end of season 2, and I've been listening to every episode since.
Okay, I thought your name maybe seemed familiar, but I couldn't quite remember. I want to let you know a little technical thing. Whatever software you're using on your webcam is actually reversing your webcam. So even though you see yourself correct, that means it's wrong. Because when you normally join Blab, and many apps,
that's kind of all of us
will in Blab or many other apps will reverse what you see. That way, if you need to fix your hair, you're not doing the smacking yourself in the face because you can't get the right hand right. So you might want to check your software if you join a Blab again or something like that, because you're
Look at mine, Daniel.
Yeah, it's right.
What
I just said is you see your own video.
I get you.
Incorrect. So like I know Blab, I've gotten used to this. Right. So I'm pointing now to everyone's left side. I know that.
I didn't even notice it.
So I can say, hey, give me props. See, that's how many props I have. Or hey, follow me by clicking that button that's right about right there.
If you were sitting next to me, I'd have noticed, but I see exactly on the screen what I see across from me.
Yeah, that works. All right, well, cool. Thanks for joining us, Joey.
Thank you.
And have a great night.
Good night.
See, that's what I like Blab for, being able to get people in here. I do have some feature requests, though, which I'll be sending to them.
Feature request.
Anyone else want to chat?
It's sing-along time.
Blab Stud, who are you? I can't remember who's running the Stud account. Jason.
The Stud account.
Hey, Jason.
Does Miranda Sings use Blab? Because she could join us for a little while. And I could sing along with her.
Maybe we should start a new Blab thing. Or instead of Miranda Sings, it's Merida Sings.
Merida Sings? Yeah. I can't do...
The accent could be a bit thick.
Yeah, but we need someone who can do that accent.
Thanks for helping, Jason.
Thanks. Multiple Arthurian things. Thank you.
All right. Well,
Arthurian things.
Let's call Arthurian things. A night.
This is a night, but not with a K.
Of the round table.
No.
Actually, it's the square table.
That's right.
And even my new table, although it has rounded edges.
You gave yourself a larger chair.
I gave myself a larger...
Well, you've had it forever.
Yeah, but I upgraded your chair.
You upgraded my chair, but it is clear that yours is Siege and Perilous.
OneScape. Here, I'll tell you. We liked, it was Jenny and I did the review, and listen to the review because the first part of it is spoiler free, so don't worry about that. But in general, Jenny and I did like the Pan movie. We thought it was really fun, a great movie. Did I say Jenny? Yeah, I said Jenny. We did have some disappointments about some certain things we were hoping to see in the in a prequel, like Pan basically is. We didn't see some of those things. However, it was still a really fun movie that Jenny and I both thought Once Upon a Time fans would like, because it's that kind of backstory thing and lets you see kind of more about how these characters got on the path to what we know them as. Funny thing is, the subtitle to Pan is "Every Legend Has a Beginning," and Jenny and I were joking that what prequel couldn't use that as a line? Batman Begins. Every legend has a beginning. Robin Hood. Every legend has a beginning. Star Wars Episode 1. Every legend has a Jar Jar beginning.
Jar Jar. Music machine. Music machine.
All right, guys. I'm going to stop the recording now, unless anyone wants to join us. Thanks for joining us. If you're new to us here on Blab, then please go to oncepodcast.com and subscribe to the normal audio podcast and share it out. Make sure that you subscribe to or follow both me, the Ramen Noodle, or actually here on Blab, I'm Daniel J. Lewis on Blab, as well as our Once Podcast has its own Blab account. So if you go to blab.im/once podcast, and I'll put that link in the chat room, then you'll be able to follow us there and get notified whenever we're going live with these shows. And if you follow me, then you'll see whenever I'm going live. I do other things on Blab too. So thank you for joining us, and